First, when you start making a game, it's kind of nebulous, you know? You've got this concept on paper and you're trying to write it out.
Whether or not you want to admit it's the prototype, because you're going to scrap whatever you did and you're going to make it the right way the second time.
So you have, 11 million ideas, and you have to put them all into practice. You have to strike the bad ideas, and you lose all your favorite ideas every single time.
You may have a really awesome idea for a narrative, or you might have a really awesome mechanic, but the particular project that you're working on, you need to be willing and able to accept the criticism and change and adapt and rework your idea.
Eventually, you get to a point where you just happen to hit the nail on the head.
That's when you're like, oh shoot, the floodgates have opened, like here's the collaborative process, and then you just really start jamming on things.
That's when the train has left the station. That is when everyone is on board and they are just barreling down to completion.
When it really comes together, it sings, and you're just like, oh, this is great.
People are trying to play this thing that I've been trying so hard for X amount of days and hours and nights. And like the magic hits when they're all like, man, that was fun.
Computer game design at George Mason University is a multidisciplinary Bachelor's of Fine Arts program, specifically tailored towards students who want to make games.
You have the individual classes that specialize in like music design and programming and all that. And then you have the once a year studio class where you get in teams and you learn the fundamentals of working in a team.
We have artists, we have programmers, we have sound effects people, we have musicians, so we help each other out.
Just being in the School of Art, you're taking courses with like art students, film majors, just lots of different people with like lots of approaches to art. Games can go anywhere. I've seen like sculpture, installation, all of it within games.
What sold me on switching from government to game design was the quality of the professors. Every single professor had experience in the games industry.
Every single class I've taken has just been super helpful, I'll be honest. Like, I've never had a bum professor throughout all of it. They're talking from experience. They've had to deal with this in crunch time. They've had to, sort of be in the trenches, as it were.
As far as the journey through it, it was a blast. Starting out, the first day we were already making a game. We started with some basic processes, basic game engines, and really just came up from there. And at the end of it, there was some really fascinating courses. Professor Hudson's writing class, teaching us how to be creative writers, write storylines and quests, making drones, making virtual reality games. There's just a lot I was not expecting.
George Mason really gave me the opportunity and the tools to actively pursue my career outside of class. I was able to do independent coursework, I was able to do contracting on the side, and I was able to gain experience working on real games with people in and out of school.
I just feel like the world's kind of my oyster at this point. I'm kind of thinking through, I've got a lot of different skills. I definitely want to be in game development. And whether I get my foot in the door straight away in the QA or even just like game art, however I get there, I want to get there. I want to make sure that I'm always making games because it's my passion.
Games create a shared experience. You can have two groups of completely different people. They know nothing about each other, they're nothing alike, but they both played this one game and they both felt this emotion that the designer, specifically tailored for them. It's something that they can relate to and they can relate to each other about.
There's definitely a moment where everyone's contributed, be it a coding mechanic, be it a character animation, background artwork, quest that they just poured over and wrote 10 times over to get it right. When you put it in front of someone and they appreciate what you've done, if everyone's contributions come together at one moment, that is the real spark. You can't really appreciate it until you put it in front of someone for the first time and their eyes just light up, and that's why we do it.